Ah, me gusta porque te sale aquí la tarea pendiente. Sospecha. Oh.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
Tarro de pintura no es tuyo. La tapa que tiene no es la suya.
It has the wrong lid on.
You sure about that?
No.
Not entirely.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me
Hombre,
of?
no es suyo. El tarro de pintura no es tuya.
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
En las pinturas de Freya. Vale. Vale, entonces si yo hago esto, por ejemplo, esto,
Let's
¿no?
take a closer look at this.
Ok. Ah. El tarro de pintura de Freya es exactamente igual a todo.
Freya's yellow paint pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it. Nope.
Vale. Vale. Sí, 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 porque mira. Sí.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
¿En serio? A ver. Ah. Este tarro de toda su sangre.
This red paint pot had been emptied of all its blood after Freya used it to paint Flora. Nope.
¿No? material no contenía... A ver, vamos a dejar esto aquí un segundo. No contenía... Sirvió para llenar, sirvió para destruir... No sé, yo no de... Antes de que Freya lo usara, pero...
This red paint
Vale.
pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Vale.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Vale. Ok. Vale. Hemos aclarado esas sospechas.
The entire room is
Oh, it's not
bloody.
just, it's the actual hole.
Vamos a la habitación de Fifi. Cuarto de Fifi.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even
Terrible.
worse.
Terrible.
Scientific formulas, probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means.
Boxes of stuff.
A new suspect! Don't think you
Oh.
can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
Estás acabado, Teddy.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge.
Son igual, Son igual de bobainas.
That's a whole lot of books. That's a whole lot of books.
Homemade posters. This one's about the Pythagoras theorem.
I've not heard of that man. Are they any good? Crystal chandeliers. Extra fancy.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me.
Un poco para mí también.
Kind of dusty.
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
¿Qué son las relaciones interpersonales que se han ido dando a lo largo de... o lo que tiene que ver unos con otros?
That's gotta be Flora. I think that's supposed to be Felix.
Looks like Fitz.
Who's that?
Not sure. It's Detective Hawkshaw. Who is that?
No idea. That's
Hello.
you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that. Do I?
Es verdad, y este es Grimoire.
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking.
A ver,
Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
es como si la tierra que hay en esta isla pudiera hacer ciertas cosas reales. Podría ser. Me estoy fumando un tremendo trócolo.
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Who's that?
Not sure. It's Detective Hawkshaw.
Did you
Vale.
notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Ok. Me han dado un logro. Espía profesional.
A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple
Perfecto.
trick, but it really transforms the space.
A ver
Looks
qué es
like a
esto.
microscope, a big one.
Can I touch it?
Tócalo.
I'm not sure this.
Puedo volver a.
Just gonna rest my brain.
Puedo volver a ver
It
esto.
looks like a
Can
microscope.
I touch it?
Vale, no puedo. Vale, esta es la forma que tenemos que encontrar. Vale. Esto es, ¿no?
I got it.
I'm impressed. Sounds like it
Huh?
unlocked.
Yeah, it's built on top of a little metal box.
Ok.
There's a book in here.
A ver. ¡Oh! Diario secreto. Un libro con uso. Parece un diario. Está cerrado con un extraño dispositivo de metal. Ok. Podríamos llevárselo a Fifi.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
Vale.
What's that big book on
Looks
the
like
desk?
something. I hope it's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology.
It's a magnifying glass.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective?
Claro.
Should I start smoking a pipe too?
Claro.
You couldn't pull off the pipe. Homemade posters. This one's about the.
I've not heard of that band. It's a magnifying glass.
How come?
Why? Should I
You
start
couldn't pull off.
the stuff Fifi's thrown
You're
away?
gonna rummage through the trash can?
No, that is quite beneath me. Thank you.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
The stuff Fifi's thrown away.
You're gonna run. I give it 5
Entonces
minutes.
tendrías que mirar, la verdad. No ser inteligente no mirar en la basura, pero bueno.
That's a whole lot of books.
Vale,
You're gonna
vámonos.
rummage. I give it 5 minutes before you're.
Vámonos, vamos a preguntarle a Fifi. Por la caja.
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
Ah, ok. Ok. Pues nos vamos, ¿eh? No hay nadie más de quien te podamos preguntar, ¿verdad? Vale, podemos ir persona por persona preguntándole por las personas que ya hemos conocido. Con ella no podemos hablar, ¿vale? Nos puede dar nuevas pistas.
This is a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter?
No dice nada, ¿eh? No dice nada. Vámonos. Por lo menos ya hemos agotado esa posibilidad.
would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they?
Sí. Y los adolescentes.
That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes. My daughter Fiona and her best friend. They grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea. Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way.
Vale, personas.
My daughter Fiona.
Fifi.
Our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Oh. Oh. O sea, que nada práctico detrás de ese comportamiento. De ese comportamiento aparentemente hiperracional. Da miedo. El tío da
A little
miedo.
chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
Vale.
Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really. Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting. It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you, in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done? Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
Vale, vamos a decir primero sabes de Félix y de Fifi.
Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
Bueno.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
Vámonos, te veo con un cuchillo. Y le das miedo. Me hace gracia la reacción cuando quieres hablar con ellos. Es como, ¡ah!
I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz
Sí.
spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I
Es
just
muy
wonder if
creepy
he's
esta
getting
persona,
restless.
Es muy, muy creepy la
Did you get anything
detective.
useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely.
Ok. Vamos a ver qué tienes por aquí.
The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
Ya, bueno.
I'd tell him not to quit his day job. But he hasn't got one, has he?
Es innecesariamente cruel.
These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A photograph of Freya could be important.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
Ok. Vámonos. Fest. Empezamos por abajo. Sala de música. A ver qué tenemos por aquí. ¿Qué es esto?
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
Oh. Estatua de voz. Es una estatua brillante de una extraña criatura que sostiene una gran bocina. Hay una apreciable grieta que recorre toda la bocina de la estatua. Vale, dentro y por fuera hay fragmentos de cristal. Ok.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I'll like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
No me había dado cuenta de que estaba aquí. Hostia.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude!
Es
Unless
que...
she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
Qué
My name is
maravilla.
Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about
Madre
Freya.
mía.
I know.
La gótica.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
Ok. Cuéntanos de ti.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
Hola,
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... Things are more complicated for her.
What
Claro,
about
porque es la
now?
heredera.
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer.
Claro, a Fifi le toca la responsabilidad de quedarse con el patrimonio familiar. Es una mierda.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The spoken word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling. Stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
Dame un segundito que tengo Discord abierto y está haciendo sonidos. No me gusta. Seguimos.
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make around a room?
Madre de uno.
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze. Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way. With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
Vale.
Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be. That's me.
Oh.
I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kinda cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
Ok. ¿Me puedes decir de esto?
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
Hombre, teniendo en cuenta lo fácil que es destruir una cinta de música, es que no hace falta ni que, ¿sabes? No hace falta ni que la partas. Simplemente por aquí abajo coges la cinta, porque es totalmente accesible, la rompes y ya está. No hay más.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody?
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora's a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the Fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
Ok.
There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too peaceful.
Y un poco, es raro. Es raro. ¿Y si no la mataron ahí? ¿Y si no murió ahí? Se la llevaron ahí una vez muerta.
Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you?
Sí, la verdad es que esta carta muy escondida no estaba.
When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do.
Sí, la verdad es que sí. La verdad es que sí.
What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. It was my mother's originally.
So why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes. Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No. Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Es un poco rara esta
Is that
chica.
supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh, how nice. I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Is that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that? Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano.
Ok. Ahora tu versión de los hechos.
3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that.
Ok, declaración.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
Parece bastante... coincide con el resto de versiones.
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
I wonder what's in there.
Luego,
There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
vale, vamos a...
What old wooden bookcase?
Vamos a terminar de ver esta habitación y nos vamos primero con Fifi.
Yep.
25 dry old books.
Mm-hmm.
4 lit candles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem?
Ya, sí. Sí, son cosas. Esto puede salir ardiendo en cualquier momento, sí.
That's just daylight, right?
What else would it be?
That's just...
What else would it be?
It's one of those big pianos.
Don't
with
touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Siempre dices lo mismo.
Sheet music. It's happy.
That's a lot of notes. Looks
Probably why they're on the floor. All right, you got your wish.
Spooky murder mansion?
Spooky murder mansion. Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty, so I'm guessing nobody.
Vale.
There's a faded mural on the wall.
When I was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural and a mosaic.
You still don't know, do you?
No.
There's a faded mural on the wall.
When I was a kid,
You still don't
no.
All right, you got your wish. Spooky murder
Si no
mansion.
recuerdo mal, un mural es una pared o un muestrario o un arte compuesto de diferentes imágenes que se conectan y cuentan una historia y un... ¿Cómo era
There's
el
a
otro?
faded mural on
When I
the
was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural
Y un
and a
mosaico es lo mismo, pero hecho con piedras. Con piedras, creo, ¿eh? A lo mejor me estoy equivocando, ¿eh? A lo mejor estoy diciendo una tontería con un piano, pero creo que esa es la diferencia. A ver, primero vamos a hablar de esto.
Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
Hablamos de Poppy.
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Muy bien. El fantasma de las navidades futuras. Maravillosas. Maravilloso.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written in here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
No es ningún diario. Es el diario de otra persona. Es el diario de Fifi ha escrito en él.
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
Que así que es el de otra persona.
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
Oh. Tiene una estrella como la... Oh, snap. Vale. Vale.
Let's take a closer look at this.
El libro azul se parece un poco, ¿no? Es lo mismo que el diario secreto, que muestra que era de Freya.
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Ah. Fifi no quería que nadie viera los secretos personales.
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Vale.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something...
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
Might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Vale, ahora estoy
Finally.
intrigado.
What's in there?
Esta de carne y hueso. Ha vuelto, esta vez en carne y hueso. ¿Fui yo? ¿Lo dejé salir? Tal vez debería romper ese cuadro. El portalmas funciona. Qué cosita más impresionante. Ahora tengo dos. Necesito otros dos más. ¿Cómo? He encontrado el camino hasta el medio. Sorprendentemente fácil en comparación con el arpa. Los he visto a los 5, los ojos se oscurecieron. Pese a todo, aún tengo una promesa que cumplir. Haré lo que pueda. A ella le vendría bien algo de compañía. What? ¿Puedes hablarnos de esto, por favor?
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
Vale.